Donna, where have you been? We may have to cut that off the front because they may. We finna get this money, Donna. You hear me? No, we finna get that green light on you, baby. You hear me? So we may have to cut this off the front. So let's have a moment of silence for Sweetie Pie Low, her husband Gomer Pyle, Donna Serafina, and the dog Rocky. Okay, we back at it. You hear me? Hey, you know I'm still too good at this. We finna run down through the roll call right quick. Beverly, Miss Lila, what's happening, baby? Bergen County, Kaz Pablo in the house. You hear me? Thank you for your help today, Kaz. It was so greatly appreciated. Beverly from the 502. You dig? What's happening, baby? Corinne, what's up, baby? The real Rockin' Robin. Boy, my eyes is getting bad, baby. You hear me? It's the only thing. That's the only thing old on me. Everything else brand new. You dig? Lil Kimmy, what's happening, baby? You brought popcorn? Ooh-wee, baby. GL Bortz. Good to see you. Good to see you. Lil Kimmy. Lady May. Oh, ladies. What are we going to do with me? What are we going to do with me? I love all of y'all in the Case K. What's up, baby? Hope you feeling good, Queen. Tip top. You dig? Hope you feeling good, baby. Lickety split. Hey. Marie. Swisher 2 Sweets. Hey, baby. Oh, so I'm way back here. Raven Wolf. Thank you for joining us. Cheryl O, what's up, baby? Who else we got in the house, man? Let's see. Peas and carrots. Go together like peas and carrots. Amber Robinson, what's up, baby? Karen from the UK. Tracy, Markella. Oh, Angel Eyes, what's up, baby? So, that's your jam. Truth hurts. Oh, Donna, she says. Gamer girl, what's up, baby? Look at it. Chica, what's up, lady? Shasta. Oh, act right. Hey, baby. Good to see you. Of course, Jess, she been a long time. You dig? She been down since the come up. You hear me? Moon Babe, what's up, baby? Sharon. Flight Nurse, what's up, baby? Scorpion Queen, good to see you. The Liberator 2.0, what's up, Libs? Locked and Loaded. Buzzy Fuzzy Butt. Thank you for joining us, baby. Thank you for joining us. I don't get tired. Oh, boy. Had one of them days at work, man. Win the Whim. Good to see you. One of them days, man. Say. Mama Bear, what's happening, baby? Cheshire. Boy, let me turn up my brightness. I can't see nothing. You hear me? Mookie. There we go. So Heavenly 09. What's up, baby? Act right again. Libster. Tina's Pina. Steel. Opal. Just remember, you are loved. You are appreciated. Don't ever give up on yourself, and don't listen to others who give up on you. You matter, and I believe in you. Miss Opal, she one of the real OGs. You hear me? Hair curlers, hey, baby. Auntie Sherry in the house. Grubby Goat. Spicy Disaster. Sweet Talking Lady. Kendra Lynn. Mark T. Woo! Carla. Shelly Ann, baby. You missed a lot today. Jamie Katz, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Let me see. Paisley Moon, hey, baby. Who else we got in the house here? Gemla, 1400. Okay. Peas and carrots. Sherry from the 709. What's up, baby? Nana of 8. Woo! Brandy J. YouTube girl. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. If I miss everybody, it's not because I don't love you. Paisley Moon, thank you so much for your contribution, queen. You know it means the world to us. Oh. Hey, KSK, can you moderate this one here, please? Please give this one a wrench. Sandra Hurley. Spivey. I still have not mastered. Hold on. Let me do something real quick. I still have not mastered the art of finding where I can find my own stream so that I can watch it over here. So I always have to do it the weird way, like log into the dog's channel, copy the link, and then send it to myself. It's some weird stuff. I'm sure the real YouTubers will tell me how to do it, but you know, some of this stuff I suck at. I'm not too good at some of this stuff. Then I got to go back over to the dog's channel, log out, log back into my main channel, come back to the text, click on. You see what I'm saying? Log out. Hold on. There she is. Okay. And I got one more I had to do here. Where we at? Markella. Undercover mermaid. Hey, baby. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So tonight, and I love all of y'all individually. Please remember that. If I didn't get to you, good morning. Hello, Vietnam. So today, really the battle today was trying to get it all in order, right? Because there's just so much to look at. I just seen this pop up. Spivey, thank you so much for your contribution, queen. You know it means the world to me, baby, as always. Spivey she been down since the come up too. And Jess, thank you. Thank you, Jess. Thank you for your contribution, queen. You know it means the world to me. I love all of y'all individually. You hear me? So, I was really willing to just let sleeping dogs lie, as they say. But this one here, I think that we should really start out with let me come over here right quick, baby. If I miss anybody, I will get to you. I promise you, I'm good at that. You hear me? So this has always been a thing, evidently. I just didn't know, right? Somebody sent this to me, and it's sort of like I'm going to start out with this to sort of set the tone, because this is an egomaniac, right? This is someone. Now, if you listen to Sweetie Pie Slow-Mo, because I swear, Sweetie Pie Slow-Mo, she's going to have you believe that Donna has been so instrumental to anything, anywhere, and she has not, right? So you're going to hear her say some stuff like, oh, well, if Benny would just apply himself, he could do great things. What, lady, have you done? You sat back and you put up a playpen sandbox for the world's largest weirdo. Okay, the world's largest weirdo. But this is from way back. Anytime it's an ego war with Donna Serafina, anytime you get a leg up on her, or you are seemingly more important in something that she's covering, her go-to is to call you a predator. Lady, you are a piranha in a fishbowl. What do you mean predator? You are the apex predator, right? And I really had to pray to the Lord of my understanding today, because I'm going to tell you why. I can't see the chat. I'm going to tell you why. Because she's called everybody under the sun a pedophile. Everybody. If she don't like you, you're a pedophile. If you're a woman and she doesn't like you, like she did Jody Sue, she's going to put a lifelong sexual assault on you. And guess what else she's going to do? Then she's going to weaponize it about you. She's going to weaponize you, and she's going to bash you over the head with a make-believe lifelong sexual assault situation, right? Whether it's the truth or not, it's not my business what happened to Jody Sue. That's her business. That part of it is her business, right? Jody says it didn't happen. Okay. Donna swears it did. But when has Donna been right about anything? Like, Donna can make her own breakfast. She can't predict what she's going to have for breakfast, and she's going to make it for herself, right? So this is a synonymous thing here. And I'll tell you what, like, if Donna had any money, because, I was putting something together. If Donna had a little money, we are in the sue community. Girl, I would sue those dogs off of you, because I swear you're going to make them sit down and read a Bible. I swear you are. But this is sort of what it is, right? So I had to pray to the God of I'm going to settle it down now. I had to pray to the God of my understanding today, because I thought, well, I have some very interesting information. And it's not new, but it needs to be refreshed and improved, right? So it took a little to, other creators or channel holders to understand when you're putting together something and you got tabs like I have tabs all the way across the screen. When you're putting the tabs together, there has to be a continuity. There has to be a flow, a rhythm to it, right? And this is just it's all patchwork, right? So I think that there's going to be, I may struggle a little bit with the rhythm and the continuity, but I think I sort of have it put together how I need it to be, right? So that being said, to start off with, I'm going to tell you, Lippy has been putting together great videos. Like, one of Lippy's videos she did a couple of days ago, I promise you, was the very best clip I've ever seen. I hope she can top it, and I'm pretty sure she can. Can somebody put Lippy's link in the chat, please? So there's been so much, and in fact, even on this issue, I've reached out to the godmother, Chasing True Crime. She's in the chat. If somebody could put her link out too, that'd be great. I appreciate it. I reached out to her and I was like, hey, where can I find the whole live with the addition of what has been retracted, right? And no qualms. Chasing said, here, I know somebody that's got it. See if they'll upload it and give you a link. I have the link, right? But to go off into that tonight, if she continues on, I may go ahead and just do a deep dive in on that live and then just do what I do, right? And a lot of people think I do it good, so I'll do it. Tonight is a little more structured because there is quite a lot to look at, right? From GoFundMe's to needing trailers, all of these things, right, are to accrue money. And in the hunt to accrue money, what she does is she victimizes children on the internet. Let's just keep it real, right? If you are going to come on and say the most heinous things that you have nothing, it's like, hey, I'm going to tell you, I know Donald Trump. Well, if I have a crystal ball in front of me and I tell you I know Donald Trump, there's going to be a sliver of you that believe that. But if I have no crystal ball and I don't have a sweetie pie slow-mo, right? You're going to say, you're full of it, Benny. And I'm going to say, yeah, no, you're right. I am full of it, right? Like, generally, like genuinely, all the way past my eyeballs full of it, right? So also, in addition to that, Tragedy Pimps, I'm going to go ahead and grab their link since I have it right here. I'm going to come over here and drop it into the chat log, baby. It's diazepam. Yes, it is. I'm back to where I can't see the chat. So this right here is pretty interesting because I forgot, you know me, I love vocab. I love it.
Hypocrite. Hypocrite. Hypocrite.
So, oh God, I think we know what a hypocrite is, right? A person who puts on a false appearance of virtue or religion. A person whose behavior contradicts their stated beliefs, ouch, or feelings, right? That being said, we're going to use, or I'm going to utilize just this to get the ball kicked off and get it rolling, right? So this is Tragedy Pimps. They're in the chat. If you're not subscribed, please, you could even do it now. Hit the link, go over, subscribe, and come straight back, right? If you're not, I think that most of us are subscribed, right? I am subscribed, but I will tell you this: I am subscribed, but for whatever reason, my dang on, like, look, oh, now it's wants to act right. Earlier, look, I have a whole bunch of shorts. None of my shorts are popping up. Like it was telling me all day right here. I was actually having to screen record other people's community posts because it said that they weren't available on this device. Like, it's wild work, but now all of a sudden it wants to work. So moving forward, right? Let me go back here. History. Okay. And we're going to get to it, right? It's not going to be a handsome look either. Where's TPE at? And now see, I've lost it right here. Okay.
Anyone where to go. All right, let's get into the clip. And just for context, she is defending Reverend Donna Serafina.
Typical. Yes, it is very typical. But, this is just one tiny thing that they've done. They've done so many of these fundraisers. Guys, if I can tell you anything right now, please stop giving money to people who make fake fundraisers.
Wait, are you talking about your friend Donna Serafina?
Yes, TPE. Actually, she is. Let me show you. This here is Rocky the dog. Okay. Oh, poor Rocky. Rocky, right? It's a rocky road. It's a rocky road we travel, right? I was reading. Wait a minute. So Rocky has an infection, or had an infection. And because she couldn't pick the right winning numbers, she thought it'd be great to go to the GoFundMe, right? As she does for all these missing kids, camper trailers for, mobile true crime headquarters. Thank God that didn't come to fruition. But you got to remember, it could also be an autoimmune problem. It could be. I'm guessing this lady never took it to the vet because up here, she doesn't know if it's going to come back bacteria, or if, Rocky's gotten a little worse every day. It could be an autoimmune problem, though, and maybe steroids would help. So clearly she hasn't taken the dog to the vet. So I'm asking for your help today so I can get Rocky the proper diagnosis and treatment. Unfortunately, Rocky, RIP, right? So.
Who did all those fundraisers? I know she did one for an RV so that she could go to all these crime scene places.
You don't say.
How is that RV now? Does she have it? I don't think so. Where'd all the money?
No, she doesn't, in fact.
Let me go.
Who assassinate
If she did, she'd probably sell it for marijuana. I'll get to that.
people's character on the daily, who are not interested in actually wanting to help with this case.
Assassinate people's character on the daily. Well, that brings us back to this, doesn't it? Sweetie Pilo, you are not good at this, sweetie. Slow-mo. You're not good at this. You suck at this.
People who they don't do anything but cause a bunch of drama. It's absolutely disgusting.
It is disgusting. Kind of as disgusting as this right here.
And go right into the lorry. I've never chewing on the bones, but I also saw them cutting the meat off and making sandwiches. So if you don't know about the devil.
Yeah, straight up, right? So that's going to bring us to, oh shit, what did I just take off? It would, hold on. I just did it to myself here. At least me, when I say, hey, my hypocrite is poking out, I know that it's poking out, right? And I can identify the fact that, hey, this may come off as a little hypocritical, but I can identify it. I feel like the true meaning of a hypocrite is someone that probably can't even identify that it is poking out and that they just run with it, right? Like it's wild beyond comprehension, right? So let me try to see what I think what I had there was inconsequential, right? So when I told you that I had to pray to my higher power today, I thought to myself, Benny, there's a lot of things that are low-hanging fruit, and then there's things that's like top of the tree fruit. And those things are a little harder to get to. But sometimes you got to weed your way through the low-hanging fruit to even see that there's something better on top, right? So because of things like this, right? Because of things like this,
I saw a demon go across the yard and go right into Lori. I've never chewing on the bones, but I also saw them cutting the meat off and making sandwiches.
and we've heard all of the terrible things that she's put on Summer Wells with Ziggy and Sweetie Pie Slow-Mo. We've heard all of the things, right? And there's, trust me, there's more things to come. Plenty more, right? So that's where I really had to ask. I truly had to ask for guidance. And I really didn't get, I asked for grace. Let me say it that way. I asked for grace. And I felt like that because I was going to do what I was going to do. Wasn't no two ways around it. I was going to get down with the get down. And I thought to myself, because I'm already have it in my mind, I'm going to do this. Let me pray for grace. Let me pray for the right words at the right time. And I started putting this together last night or earlier. Yeah, last night. And then I made the scheduler, I think today. And I thought, you know what? I felt confident. And in that confidence, I felt like God had blessed me with the right words and the grace to do this so as that I could really talk about the things that the fractured minds either avoid looking at, know exist and don't care, right? Or the things that she's passing off as real, but are actually all the way fake. And we're going to get to it, okay? We're going to dig all the way in, right? Now, Sweetie Pie Low, and we're going to sort of use this as the benchmark and go back and forth, right? Now, I also have some stuff of chasings pulled up, and actually that is what I exited it out, was one of chasings, right? It was going to be, I think we've all heard it, but for those that maybe haven't, I'll have it pulled up here. Let me see here. Her shorts. Okay, so let me see. Whoever was just blocked, can we let's see here. Connie, was that for a reason? Or is it just because you don't like her? If you don't like her, I would ask that you don't mod with your feelings. Say, baby, how do I go back? Let's see here. Cheryl O. I mean, where even is Constant Sue? I don't even see Constant Sue in here. So that's a little strange. Connie, if you're, oh God, I hate to do this. It never ceases, right? People just can't adult, right? So Let me go over here real quick. I mean, I tell you, it just never ceases to amaze me. I just can't even, right? Like, hold on for a minute. Yeah, Connie, like, what is wrong? Like, come on. Damn, man. Give me just a moment. You know, like, quite naturally. And it has to be at a time like this. Like, you know what you're doing, Connie. I don't appreciate that. Right? Like, you're blocking people. Like, Cheryl O, we'll get this straightened out, right? One monkey don't stop the show. I don't know enough about it to do it right this second. So I do apologize and please don't be mad at me for, like, come on, Connie, you serious? Like, this is how we're getting down now. I don't even know. Let me see here. I don't know how to do this. So we're going to have to, oh, here she goes right here. Give somebody an inch and they want to take a mile, right? Come on. All right. So hidden users. Thanks, Connie, so much. We're just going to have to unlock them all now, Connie. Thank you. Thank you so much, Connie. All right. So okay, thank you. All right. Now, we're going to have a little talk here. And I don't really want to bring Jody into this again because it doesn't have much to do with Jody at all. And I didn't take the time to really separate Jody from the conversation, because when you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you're wrong. It doesn't matter if I like you or I love you or I hate you or, loathe you, whatever. But I think all of us remember where she starts talking about druggies and she's talking about this and she's talking about that. Now, what's interesting about a lot of this is that Slow-Mo here on the left, she doesn't realize, and she's giving a really raw substantiation to the fact that Ziggy knows anything, really, right? She knows what Fred told her. All of the CPS, this lady is trying to regurgitate it onto the audience that the two of these have interwoven toxically and make it and pass it off as that was real, when we actually all already know that it was fake. We know the person, right? And that reminds me here. Let's go to Lisa's, because Lisa had a very interesting point here, right? So let's read this. She says, Sweetie Pie Lowe and Donna Lambert are apparently attempting to rewrite history. Lauren is complimenting Ziggy on her hard work and coming up with the CPS report on the Wells boys. Does she honestly not know that CPS report was fake? It was even proven which friend of Ziggy's, who was formerly a jerk, pretended to be a CPS worker for Ziggy. I'm puzzled at Lauren's bringing up one of Ziggy's biggest scams to prove how factual she is. From listening to Lauren and Donna's recent lives, they don't seem to know too many of the actual facts of the case or the timeline, in my opinion. Maybe their visions would be a little more believable if they lined up a little more with a few facts that are out there, or if they could just take one outrageously lurid pronouncement and show a smidgen of proof that it actually happened. Fine post, Lisa. Fine post, right? So that's kind of where we're at, right? It's like, why are we giving credence to the whole CPS thing and we not questioning how Ziggy would have even gotten this information, seeing as CPS reports are locked down like the Fort Knox, right? So some kind of way Slow-Mo is really proving to be who we know she already is, right? Now, moving forward, we're going to exit out of this one. Let's get rid of that. let's move over here. Now, I didn't know nothing. Let me say that again. I didn't know anything about Donna Serafina when I made this 2 weeks ago. I knew nothing of the lady. And I gave her grace when she started right here. Listen to what she says. You could repent. I will repent. I repent every day. It's Q. Okay. Q, if it bothers you so much, run along. Q, this didn't age well, honey, at all. This aged like cheese. On over there and tell her, no, that's not even a good one. This aged like spoiled milk, baby. Straight up. That's why I think it's Q way back then was probably Donna Serafina now, right? To make the video private and ruin my stream, please.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. My name is Reverend Donna Serafina. I'm a psychic medium. I am a spiritualist reverend. I have a special interest in missing persons and unsolved homicides. I have a background in criminal justice, and I have had multiple family members murdered.
She's had multiple family members murdered. Now, the only one that I know of she claims was murdered was her daughter, right? So I guess we're all fair game here. You have little Summerwells right here, and you're going to talk the craziest snot that you can blow out of your face about this little girl. You've talked the craziest snot about every kid that you've ever covered, blowing right out of the front of your face. So White Boy gave me some materials, and I did a little digging. And it was not hard. And it's such an emotional dagger, right? Because you're like, oh man, this can't be, right? This can't be, because what it does is it disarms you, right? It completely disarmed me. Listen. Brings me to the first. I don't know what to say. I have had a family member murdered. Now, if you're to take it all the way back to the Civil War, maybe I've had multiple family members murdered. I don't know where all this comes from. Thank you, K-State. I don't know where all of this comes from. And I don't want to say bad luck at all, because that just wouldn't be the right thing to say. However, multiple, we talking multiples of 2, we talking multiples of 1, because you can multiply by 1. I just don't know, right? Multiples murdered, and I guess that makes you the authority, right? I've had my aunt, she was murdered, and this is me, the goal. One is going down. Horn until these kids go missing to tell us all about who did it instead of. So it disarmed me, right? I did a little digging. Okay. I did a little digging. Oh God. Please help me. So Donna wants to pass off to the public. She wants to trauma dump on the public that her daughter was murdered by 2 males and their truck. Right? So what you know, surface level, and I got to say, Donna, you were a looker. You really were a looker. When you look at it for face value, which is a lot of times all we are able to offer situations on the internet, right? But then when you get the hook in you and you start digging, some of this stuff is not even way down at the bottom, right? It's stuff that you can sort of readily find, right? So the issue with this is, right? Oh God. The issue is it's very touchy. And I'm asking God for grace right now, because I don't want to even talk like I did that you just heard me on a prior live stream, right? But it did completely disarm me. Okay. Now, she claims that her daughter was murdered by 2 males and their truck, right? However, when you go anywhere, and I have many links, and I thought, so this is one of the areas I asked for grace, right? I asked for grace because I thought, well, maybe I'll just arm the public with all of the things they need to know in order to become familiar or up to speed with really what they're dealing with, right? So Donna started having visions after her daughter was murdered. She goes on in the reading. I'm not even going to read it because I don't want it to cloud any of this stuff, right? Because I don't believe any of that crap. Mediums and psychics are abominations, right? Now, it says here, the investigation into a Murrieta woman who was found dead in the Lake Elsinore Travel Inn swimming pool on Thanksgiving continues, but authorities are releasing few details. Nicole Lambert, 26, was found dead in the lodge's swimming pool around 11:55 a.m. I don't care if it's daylight savings time or not. 11:55 is in the middle of the day. Hooah. Now, the issue with it is that this is in 2011. We're not talking about the analog days of 1996. Pretty much a lot, I would say a majority of businesses in 2011, and I can't see the chat, whatever's going on. 2011, people got cameras, especially hotels or motels where they have pools. Pools are a huge liability for hotels, motels, Holiday Inns, right? Huge liability. So in the event that there's anything that happens that could be a further liability to them, right? They have video proof, and in the words of Ernie Shell, video is gold, right? So on November 24th, 2011, right? Today, Corporal Courtney Donahue, spokeswoman with the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, said the cause of death is drowning, but there is no information available at this time. Now, understanding the mechanics, as a lot of us are true crime aficionados, we understand the cause of death is drowning. Toxicology came back and there was a positive toxicology, which you could then start to think that the manner of death, right? And this is where I ask for grace. There's a toxicology issue, okay? So the cause of death is drowning. The manner of death could be something like an overdose, right? Now, the way that we prove with modern medicine going way back, I don't even know when it started, right? Pretty much probably since humans died, there was, science on the books and scalpels. We understand that to be ruled a drowning means that there must be water in the lungs, right? Now, that being said, in order for this to be a thing, it's in the middle of the day on Thanksgiving, right? It's middle of the day. She's found in the pool. There's a toxicology issue. There's water in her lungs. And I'm willing to bet the ranch there's cameras all around that pool. So what you would have to have is the most Tupac-alypse now cover up, right? You would have to have hotel owners erase footage, first of all, right? You would have to have, and theoretically, let's lean on the side of there being cameras. They've erased footage that would contain two men putting this girl into the pool after they drowned her somewhere else or drowned her in this pool. Either way, it's been ruled a drowning, and there has to be water in the lungs. There's no two ways around it. If she's murdered somewhere else and put in the pool after she's been found, or after the moment of death, there's no water in the lungs. You following me? So it becomes very problematic. Then you have to have a medical examiner, the police. You have to have all of these people all in conjunction to say, no, it's actually a drowning when it was a murder, right? Now, I feel like maybe I'm taking a different approach. Like none of this has ever been broken down, even to this level, right? Even to this level. Now, let me come over here to the chat and kind of get my footing here. Okay, let me get my footing. Does this make sense? Is this making sense to everyone? I see that there's I see that there is some stuff going. She reached out to other psychics and uses EVPs on channel. Okay. Now, Lana, there's something to be said, and I don't want to go too far into her collegiate career. That's because White Boy Lockdown Radio, he is planning and putting together, another big live stream. And I don't want to pull away too much from what he's got going on because he's been so gracious to send me stuff to get to this point now, right? So we have, and I will get to thank you to all the contributors. I love all of y'all. So what we have is we have a psychic, right, who's wrong on every case. Now, we heard the detective that was over the Vallow case, right? The detective says on a smaller channel, right, not no huge conglomerate like Hidden True Crime or wherever. I think she had at that point 6,900 subscribers or something. Smaller, but still probably has huge support, right? This detective that was over it said she was close-ish. Now, in the day and age of everything being videoed, a lot of us will remember that the East Idaho News, they were flying over the scene, and there was a lag to some degree. When they start putting up tents, or when you start to see a heavy presence that's available on live-ish TV, I think it's pretty easy to come up with the digs, right? No pun intended at all. To come up with the deets, right? All he was willing to stretch and say is that she was close-ish. I don't know how many other true crime live streamers probably were equally as close-ish or maybe even closer, right? Let's be real about that. There was probably many true crime live streams, even with 100 subscribers, that probably said, hey, they need to check Chad Daybell's property. He may have buried them somewhere on, and that's if they're on the side of already soliciting guilt or innocence onto the situation, right? If you already had a point of view and you thought, well, it looked fishy, right? The kids are missing. Lori and Chad, they're in Hawaii, getting married and running through the mountains and swimming in the sea. Meanwhile, the kids are missing, right? Well, a lot of people, I'm certain of it, I could say it definitively, not even have to have seen it myself, definitively know true crimers all over the world were saying, check Chad Daybell's property, right? No, hands down, without a doubt. They probably also said to check everywhere related to these two and dig everywhere, right? And so then it starts happening, and then it's a war for Donna with the internet and this tricky thing called timestamps, right? As long as you can sneak a timestamp in before there's an actual release of information or the presser, right? The presser where they first come on and they say, okay, we found them. That's D-Day. That's D moment, right? Anything before that, you could start to look as a perceptive psychic that solved the case. The detective went on to say she solved nothing. She was close-ish, right? That would be to the extent that anybody who ever covered Summer Wells and said, just randomly throwing out spots they think Summer Wells could be. If it comes down and you threw out 1,000 darts all over, right? Maybe one of these landed somewhere. You too could also come back and say you're psychic and that because of the timestamp and the D-Day presser release, you were before that, you got to be psychic, right? You have to be psychic. No, you're not psychic. You threw out 100,000 darts. That's all it is, right? So, it is unclear how Lambert Cruz drowned and who found her. Motel staff are referring reporters to call police. According to the deceased mother, Lambert Cruz was living with her grandfather in Murrieta when she went missing November 19th. She left for a walk and never came back, said Donna Lambert. Details from the autopsy and toxicology reports have not been made available. The Lambert family had been in the media spotlight prior to Thanksgiving for their staunch support of the medical marijuana movement. Okay. Donna Lambert's elderly father, Don, that's cute, Don and Donna, who Nicole lived with, had been a fixture at Murrieta City Hall, where he regularly advocated on behalf of medical marijuana patients. Don took up the cause after his daughter Donna was arrested in 2009 for marijuana possession in San Diego County. Wasn't just a possession. Her case garnered significant media attention. She was accused of providing cannabis to an undercover police detective who posed as a medical marijuana patient. The sting was part of a larger investigation dubbed Operation Green RX, spearheaded by San Diego District Attorney Bonnie Dumanis. In 2010, however, felony charges against Donna Lambert were dismissed. That brings me to the next definition of
Codefendant. Codefendant. Codefendant.
codefendant. Any of two or more individuals, companies, or institutions answering the same charge in a court of law. You with me? Okay. That will bring us to that's what I got rid of. I pulled up co-defendants. And it's gonna shock you, right? You guys are gonna be like, whoa, trippy, right? So right here, 33 arrested in drug sting with 19 suspects sought. She was arrested in a SWAT-style raid on her home, right? Now, when you are a co-defendant in a sting, right? This was just a toenail's width away from being a RICO. Mark my words. However, it remained a stateside sting when it could have went federal so easy. Now, what happened in the early days after this situation, many Southern California legal dispensaries were also raided, who were in complete compliance, right? Now, follow me. I can't see the chat, so I if something were amiss, I would know, right? Now, an undercover sting operation targeting drug dealers in local off-base military housing has resulted in 33 people being arrested on felony charges, authorities said yesterday. The officials refused to say what area or areas were involved because up to 19 more arrests are pending, said Deputy District Attorney Chris Lindberg, who is heading the prosecutions. They also didn't specify why military and civilian authorities decided to launch the sting, which began in the fall. Ooh, Donna. Several of the suspects are medical marijuana patients or providers. The sting, called Operation Endless Summer, netted $50,000 to $60,000 worth of drugs. Lindbergh said, including 2 pounds of crystal methamphetamine, a half pound of powder cocaine, 1 gram of heroin, 100 ecstasy pills, 6 pounds of marijuana, and more than 400 marijuana plants. Investigators also recovered several guns and about $19,000 in cash. Now, this is where the hypocrite really pokes out, right? The hypocrite pokes all the way out when you hear Donna begging people not to give people on the internet money because they're druggies and that they've been to prison and they've been to this and they've been to that, right? Donna, let me tell you what, nobody you've ever said anything about other than one person has been involved in anything this caliber. This is a domestic cartel. Okay? Now, to the OGs, let me take a side spin really quick. Anybody remember me saying the 33-piece indictment? Put a 1 in the chat if you ever remember hearing me say, it was a 32-piece indictment. But with the person that cooperated and gave them the initial information, that would make 33. Anybody remember that? Tell me who I was referring to when I say 32-piece indictment. Tell me. I'm waiting. 1. Ava remembers. YouTuber girl remembers. Put a 1 in the chat. Casey K remembers. Oh, geez. Tell me the name of the person I'm referring to when I say 33-piece indictment. Put that in there now. JSB. JSB was caught in a 33-piece indictment. She got caught with 1 pill and cooperated and brought people all the way from Tennessee all the way to the East Coast. Whoa. I don't just think. Well, yeah, I do just think. I'm getting ready to talk out the side of my neck, baby. Hear me? So, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, right? Out of nowhere, we have another 33-piece indictment. So, when you put it all together, it is just so spectacular how Donna, who was caught in a 33-piece indictment, is talking ish to JSB, and she was caught in a 33-piece indictment. Whoa, you follow me? You can't make this make sense, right? Now, although there were a lot of things, it was a pill ring that JSB brought down, right? And that's why in the past, I've always said things like, JSB, you probably not as scared of people on the internet seemingly as you are the people that are going to start coming home from long prison sentences in the indictment that you brought forward, right? Those are actually the people that you should really be afraid of, right? Are the people that you put in prison with your information, right? Now, okay, Jody. Well, guess what? Since you don't let anyone come over on your channel and chat, you are not welcome to chat here, right? Your name was definitely associated to a 32-piece indictment. Moving forward. I don't do that very often, but, when you throw out the scraps, the crows will call, right? Now, this is a scenario that seemingly, if you're just selling a little pot, right? Just a little, that's what I'm going to change the name of the stream to, too, was just a little pot. It's just a little pot, right? Authorities made their arrest in late January and early February. All of the 33 suspects and civilians, except for 2 enlisted sailors, Lindbergh said. A list of suspects, adults in their 20s and 40s, won't be available for several days, Lindbergh said. However, one of the accused, Eugene Davidich, had his arraignment postponed yesterday because he wanted to hire his own attorney. He faces charges of selling marijuana on 2 occasions. At least 4 defendants were medical marijuana patients or caregivers who provided pot to sick people, the DA's attorney's office said. According to court papers, they illegally possessed, transported, or sold pot to undercover agents, right? Oop.
I'm on my
Dang. Let me zoom out just a little bit here. Okay. But Richard Hertz, a medical marijuana advocate, said yesterday that police knew about his cultivation system because he showed it to them in 2005. They said they were very impressed and left, Hertz said. Yeah, it's when you sell it to an undercover agent, buddy, right? Okay, let's move forward here. It's a lot, right? So the issue, he called me and said he was in dire need. I talked to him for about 30 minutes, then sold him an ounce of pot. That's how they got me for sales. 2 other defendants, Donna Lambert and Diana Sanchez, are accused of selling marijuana to an undercover agent. Court papers confirmed that they run medical marijuana delivery services, all above the board and legal, until you sell it to an agent of the government or an agent of the state, which they did, right? So, boy, I mean, it sounds like Donna Lambert's out there just slanging it like Master P, right? Like, you are really getting out there for an agent to be involved in purchasing low-level narcotics from you. Now, the interesting part is you're caught in a sting, right? These other 31 people, Miss Sanchez and Miss Lambert, making 33, are all what they call co-defendants. Co-defendants means you're caught in a sting and you're all answering for the same charges. Right now, the interesting part about that is when you move on down, we'll go here. Okay. In 2010, the sting was in 2009. In 2010, felony charges against Donna Lambert were dismissed. I guarantee you nobody would know linguist experience had ever looked at this. How do you sell? It's a controlled substance at the point that you do it illegally. That's the silly part about it, right? You're operating a legal marijuana delivery service. As soon as you sell it illegally, it's transformed into a controlled substance situation, right? Hold the phone. How do you think? Hey, TPE, thank you for all of this. How do you think she got these charges dismissed? Think about it. She's facing 7 felony counts and could also, with the wrong attorney or not the right attorney, could also be on the hook for all the other things, because what they've found is they've webbed all of these people together. So some kind of way, Donna, she knows somebody selling meth, coke, pills, and guns, right? They're co-defendants in the case together, right? So she sold pills to an agent of the state. Let me go back here. How do you think she got her charges dropped? Come on. Put in the chat if you know. Or not that you know, but that you suspect. How do you think she got these charges dismissed? It's not because her daddy goes to the Murrieta City Hall and because he advocates for medicinal marijuana. Yeah, that's fine. He started doing that after Donna got caught. Sherry. Maybe, but probably not. She cooperated. 1,000%. I don't have any proof of that in front of me. However, if I'm wrong, sue me. If you didn't cooperate with the state and you didn't give up information about some of the other 32 people, or tell on a plug that isn't involved, like maybe they pulled in other people because of what she told them, right? They raided your house SWAT style and arrested you. You sold drugs to an undercover officer. You had 7 pending felony counts, right? Now, initially, these 7 felony counts were not dismissed. She took a plea later, and I haven't just nailed it all down, but some kind of way, unless this is misinformation, they were dismissed. I'm going with the fact they were dismissed. Woo! Yeah, she told. Yeah. Make that make sense, right? I think that's probably the only thing that we have evidence that she's ever told anyone that was actual and factual. Because she actually was, they have her on paper for selling drugs to an undercover officer. And now, bam, now all of a sudden we don't see nothing no more. Nobody doesn't know nothing no more. It's gone. It's gone. You told it. You did the wrong thing. You was involved. You were involved in a market, in a business that's shady. You got caught doing the wrong thing, and that doesn't just go away. They don't have you on 7 counts and then say, hey, you know what? All the other people, they're going to get the shaft, but not Donna, right? That's also, I hate to say it, it's further proof that she's not psychic, or you would have known you're selling pot to an undercover agent, right? Mr. T, woo! Thank you so much for your contribution, King. You know it means the world to me. Oh, I don't think there's a could. I think definitively, thank you for your contribution, Mr. Mark. I think definitively, it's clear. She would have seen it coming. Exactly. Right? Hey, X Factor, good to see you. So, yeah, right? Like, all of these things that they're saying and portraying and projecting on other people, it's wild work. It's wild. Now, I do want to pull up one more. I want to pull up one thing, and that is in my history. It is going to be, here we go. Now, this was at some point, I don't know, right? Oh. This is the kind of scenario they run over there, right? Ziggy's this and Ziggy's that. No, Ziggy has a child endangerment charge for passing somebody on the shoulder of a road, right? Also, while intoxicated, right? Fred has a felony child abuse for letting a gun off in a house or a room where his own child is at, right? Listen to this.
Want. They're like a bunch of jackals. It's disgusting. Over the years, I've seen.
I'm a grifter. I'm gross. I'm a loser. I'm disgusting. I'm telling you, someone pays these losers. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up.
Benny go after people. And you know, I honestly, Benny has a lot of talent if he could channel it in the right direction.
My beard, yuck. I mean, I don't really want to do too much body shaming, but has she looked at her husband recently? There's only 2 things that I'm not going to go there. Sir. Oh, okay. You want it? Okay. Like, have we seen? And then here we go. She's got a wrench. There's not many of them, but here's a wrench. And somebody's like, "Who is Ziggy?" Right? Like, oh, and there's my sister's voice. That's weird. I don't know if she's pro or con, Benny, but I see her around here too. I don't know.
He really has.
Love Benny, but he's a demon when he wants to be, an angel when he wants to be. I don't know. How many people have two faces? You never know which one to trust. Well, thank you for the love.
Away with words. There's a lot of things when
Benny don't care about his own kids, let alone strangers. Really? I won't go there, but one day I can, probably, just not today, right? But people telling him he's so reformed because he was offline for 9 months. I don't see this big change. I wasn't even offline for 9 months. Double that. I was offline for 17 months.
when he really puts his focus into something, he could do so many good things. Why couldn't we use that?
Yeah, no. The correct word, Slow-Mo, is utilize. No. You've been using my information since the onset, right? You've been using my information to your beneficial. You benefited off of my, and I never hollered at Slow-Mo like, "Hey, sweetie pie, Slow-Mo, give me credit." I'm not one of them people. If you use it, you use it, right? I mean, it just is what it is, right? But Maddie here says Benny appears to enjoy drugs too much. That's the idea of drugs, Maddie. But today I have 568 days sober, right? That's a lifetime to some people. That's a long time, baby. So she's saying she's trying to really paint the canvas in such a great way. Meanwhile, she's allowing all of these things, right? Now, granted, I'm sure there's some choice things being said about her too in my chat, right? I'd never mind that, but it's just just the lack of self-awareness is like, this may be the most offensive thing I'm going to say this whole stream. She has to be a housewife. No offense to housewives, because they say a homemaker, that worth is 100,000 more a year or more, right? I get it. I only say it for this one because I don't think she's smart enough to make it in the workforce. I really don't. I do not think that she could survive in the workforce. I don't believe it. Maybe she's something top tier. I don't know. But this, just the way that all the mechanics are clicking here, I have a hard time believing that she does anything outside of burn macaroni and mess up cereal.
For the good of this case, for the future of finding Summer. Again, you see what Donna's skills and abilities are.
Do you guys actually see what Donna's skills and abilities are? Stepford, like, hoo-wah, right? And then you be one of the ones that sets the bar for a lot of different women, right? And I wasn't saying it to offend any homemakers, because, hey, a woman that stays home and is a homemaker for a man that makes 70,000, her job is worth way more than 70,000 a year, right? What did Cass say? Yeah, no, it's not an actual skill. You know what? It's one of those things. Anybody can do it. It's not like welding or engineering or playing the guitar or writing code. Anyone can't do those things. But lying, anyone can do those. What did Cass say? I'm custom made in top shelf. Angel Eyes, thank you so much for your Sizely contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me. Just love you, Benny. F what anybody talking about. I wish you did this 24/7. I don't lie. He's too good at this. I am pretty good at this. It's like one of the times in life where I can say I'm good at this, right? The other time is, like I try to be good at this and everything, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hammy. Thank you. You can't imagine being, and hey, I know some homemakers that are just like, they put the whipped cream faces on the pancakes with the chocolate chips, and I mean, just go above and beyond, right? Thank you, Beth McGee. Good to see you, lovely. Good to see you. That's it, Bridget. And one of the things that in some people's path to sobriety, sometimes in the path to sobriety, that journey is riddled with relapse, right? That's not my situation. That's not my path. But I've talked to so many people on a regular who said, hey man, I had to relapse 5 times, 20 times, keep coming back to the rooms. And eventually I got it right, and sometimes the only thing you can do to save it is go to a meeting or 2 meetings, right? I mean, when you enter into the world of sobriety, sort of the benchmark of a sound foundation is 90 meetings in 90 days. Doesn't mean 2 a day for 45 days. There's a reason why it's 90 meetings in 90 days, right? So, getting off of that, back to this.
You see that, certain people are really good at certain things. Why couldn't we all channel our abilities together? And
Benny is crusty inside and out. I thought Donna got a supplement of 20K. No? Oh, nice.
And actually get somewhere. We see law enforcement.
So what she's saying is that nothing her and Donna is doing, and this is sort of the takeaway. This is what she says without saying it. The takeaway is that she needs Benny to do it for her and Donna, right? You hearing it correctly? Benny could do so much to solve the case for Summer Wells. Well, let me tell you what, Donna, I'm not so naive to think that I could do anything that could be helpful. No, I didn't get involved in this thinking, I'm going to find Summer Wells and I'm going to find who did it and da-da-da-da-da-da. The only hope that I had was that dealing with the Wells, that maybe something would come out in a drunken rambling, right? Or maybe something would come out when they were mad at each other or whatever, right? I'm not jumping up on any horse thinking that I'm going to ride it into the sunset and find Summer Wells. And the fact that you think that you are her biggest hype man, right? You are the largest hype man I have ever seen. A hype man is a supporting performer, most commonly in hip hop, who works to increase an audience's excitement and engagement through vocal interjections like, hey, yo, hey, right? Chants and ad-libs. They also support the main performer by providing a rhythmic backdrop, giving the main artist opportunity to breathe and reinforcing the performer's message. The role can also be used more generally for anyone who enthusiastically promotes or supports a person, group, or thing. Let's just get you this isn't going to be a fair assessment, but for instance, Tupac started out as a hype man. A lot of people who know about Tupac, they know that he was a hype man, right? So that's exactly what she is a hype man, right? So going back to this.
Doesn't seem to be working too much on anything at the moment. What? They're like a bunch of jackals.
So she's holding out hope, and that she is actually verbalizing that Benny Keys solo could do so much to find Summer Wells. Well, Donna is doing all of the work, all of us, and we're all riding her coattails, Slow-mo. Like, seriously, right? She is the one doing all the work. Meanwhile, what's really happening is you are putting yourself in a cross, Miss Slow-mo. You're putting your husband's hard work in the cross, because Donna has proven that she'll just make another GoFundMe or find another cop to sell dope to, right? While you guys sit over there, and I am thoroughly convinced tonight, I'm thoroughly convinced that Sweetie Pie Slow-mo knows nothing about Donna Serafina. If she does, well, then at some point she would say, hey, Donna, well, didn't you actually do that too? Or haven't you been this? Or haven't you been that? No, she doesn't. She doesn't call,
You had lost it, your thing.
Oh, she's not calling Donna out for anything. So what you are is a sympathizer, right? A sympathizer, and of the worst type, because you are allowing her a platform, crossing in interwoven with her own platform, where you people can come here and you can promote the wildest things. You're promoting people, right? Like Ziggy and Fred. You're promoting, well, their backseat. They play a backseat to Donna Serafina. And I think that we've shown overwhelming evidence, right? And I hope that I did handle this with grace, because just because you think, and this is probably where I really need to watch how I say it. Just because you think your daughter was murdered, Miss Donna, doesn't necessarily make it so. And I can't expect you to treat your daughter any differently than you will treat all of the daughters in true crime cases all around the world that you've had a lackluster performance on, right? You're going to say that Ty Lee was this. You're going to say that Summer Wells was this. You're going to say that this girl was that. This boy was that, right? So quite naturally, where that comes from is the pattern of you putting it on your own child. Your daughter was not murdered, ma'am. Your daughter drowned in a pool in daylight. And if there was any evidence to the contrary, people would be sitting in jail. They would be sitting in prison forever. And that's a fact, right? Cass, thank you so much for your lovely contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me, baby, as always, right? Thank you so much, Cass, for your contribution, Queen. I do appreciate you more than, you already know. So where are we at, folks? Let me come back over here to the chat so I can really just get in touch here. I am sorry. That's the thing, Texas. I'm sorry. You want me to get up? I am sorry that anything tragic happened to her daughter. However, making it a murder, bringing it to the line, and then saying that it's two men in a truck is not true. It is not true. Okay. What's true is that the Murrieta County medical examiner said that it was a drowning. That's it. That's it. And let me tell you what. I think if we even break this down just on the molecular level just a little bit further, if you believed that there were two men on the run from killing your daughter, I think that making yourself a landmark on the internet for people to find is dangerous. Now, I'm only speaking about what I would do, right? If my child was murdered and it was two people on the run from it that have never been captured, the case is unsolved, right? Because that's what you're saying, that the case is unsolved. It's not. It's been brought to a conclusion. And in fact, if the ME ruled it a drowning, you have a death certificate. Case closed. You try as you might, Donna, I hate to say it, you cannot go back and rewrite history. You've tried, and to a certain number of people, it's worked, right? But what's interesting about that is this. all of your great numbers you have, right? You had a 1% engagement in this. Now, I don't know reflective of the numbers, right? I don't know reflective of the numbers if that means nobody believes you. Oh, hold on. Let me hook you up real quick. I don't know if anybody believes you or not, or disbelieves you or not. That's not for me to judge. What I can tell you is that science said that your daughter's death has been ruled a drowning. Now, the other question I have in closing is this. You said multiple people in your family have been murdered. I'd like to know which, not publicly, right? I mean, you can go all around the internet and hunt down anything that has to do with Benny Keys. So, Donna, what I'd ask you to do, since you're watching, or Sweetie Pie Low, here's my email. Go ahead and email me, and it won't be for public consumption. I say this under the threat of perjury or whatever. Show me anyone else in your family that's been murdered. At least prove that. Prove that one person in your family has been murdered. Because science and the ME proved that she wasn't murdered. It proved she was drowned, man. I'm reading the chat and, hey, again, good to see you, baby. You can't make this up. But then again, guess what? It's exactly what this is. It's made up. It's made up. Where do we go from here? Like, I don't know. Right? Her brother was murdered. Okay. And I hate to hear that. Right? Some people have heard my story. Right? In 95, 96, I had an aunt who was involved in the cocaine trade in Florida, Miami, to be of the greater Miami area. She was involved with a trafficker. This man ultimately showed her demise, dismembered her, took her to the Everglades, put her head in a cooler and buried it. The rest was scattered. 1 year to the day, he went back, dug up the cooler, brought her head out, and ended his own life. It was some pig hunters at some point after his demise found him there holding her head. Right? That actually happened. Right? There's no making it up. There's no, you know what I mean? Like I watched my grandmother decimated. My grandmother never, ever recovered. Never recovered. It completely decimated my grandmother. My grandfather had to go to the University of Florida and pick up what was left over after they did all their studies. And he essentially brought her home in a shoebox. Right? And now she's buried out next to my grandpa. Right? Like it's actual factual. And I'm guessing what I could expect by sharing my story is now what? Donna gonna do a reading on my aunt? Do it. Do it. I wish that I had, let me say this. I wish I had the balls to come on here and say, no, my aunt wasn't murdered heinously. Did she drown in a swimming pool? You don't have to make it more. It's tragic either way you cut it, Donna. For her, and I don't know what it is, right? And I had a talk with someone, and I thought, not even Donna's situation, right? But let's look in a parallel universe where it's somebody else's kid, right? What is the motive for creating a storyline that is not what the story actually is? Well, Maybe, I don't know, you're involved in selling drugs, right? Did she get a hold of some drugs? I mean, I don't know, right? And I don't want to go too far into it, but it's a parallel universe, right? Parallel universe. So where are we at with all of this? Right? This stuff was not impossible to find. There you go, Beverly. It seems like money. A financial motive with a woe is me story. Understanding, right? Understanding that that it's tragic all in and of itself, just being a drowning on Thanksgiving, a day we're all supposed to be thankful. Your daughter's found in a pool, drowned. God, that pulls at the heartstrings. You don't have to go on and put a murder on her spiritually. That's not what you need to do. It's already so tragic and so sensationalized that it happens to a public figure, or you go on to be a public figure. Well, I guess you're a public figure with all of the domestic cartel stuff, right? That went away, right? It all goes away. Tell me why it has to be more significant than what it is, right? Because let me tell you what, if you could actually speak to your daughter from the grave, your daughter would be screaming at you, I would assume, saying, Mom, why? Why are you putting this on me? That's not what happened, right? I mean, if I had to put it together, and this is in my opinion, she's living with her grandpa. She goes for a walk. Seems like she maybe made a call ahead, a boyfriend or someone else. You know what I'm saying? I think that living with grandpa and sort of some of the context clues, you might be able to read between the lines and say there may have been some substance abuse issues, right? And maybe she goes for a walk as a cover to meet up with a friend or a boyfriend or whomever. She ends up at a hotel room, right? She gets under the influence for whatever reason, decides to go swimming, and then that's it. That's it, right? And the story is tragic, right? And so if it's a substance abuse issue, you've got tons of room to advocate and push your message to other addicts that are still struggling, right? If it is a accidental drowning and there was a toxicology issue, but let's just say theoretically there's no toxicology issue, and that she just had an accident swimming. You still have room to do so much great awareness in the name of pool safety, right? I mean, in fact, here, let's keep it real. Many swimming pool drownings occur to all of these things that have nothing to do with the person being intoxicated, right? Negligently designed and misconstructed pools, pools not having adequate safety fences, pools so filthy you can on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Right? People that jump into pools that are too shallow, and I mean, there's just a whole host of things that could happen organically, right? It doesn't. Listen to me. Let me tell you. To me, let me tell you what it does. When you know the truth that's right here, right there, when you know that truth, what it does is it takes away. It takes away from the true story, right? It's tragic, Donna. No one's trying to take that away from you. You don't have to sensationalize it to make it worse. You're not sensationalizing it on the side of good. You're sensationalizing it, making it worse. Making it worse. When in fact, in closing, I think that actually Boost to love you, baby. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. What the problem is, right, is that we can use this as case in point. proof of concept, right? That she has so much to say about Valos, about Summer Wells, about this, about Kohlberger, right? And that it's all sensationalized. They're turning into demons and they're eating the meat off the bone and they're making sandwiches. Meanwhile, when it comes to a scenario in her own life, she can't even tell the truth that's available to be seen publicly. So this case in point is that I would say she's so far off track on every single thing she says. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I want to say that it's for money, but I don't feel like that's it. I feel like there's some deep-seated need for some sort of validation. This validation fills an emotional hole or gap in Miss Serafina's life. And I could tell you, Miss Serafina, you don't have to struggle alone. Hold on one second. I just got an email and I think it's probably going to be pertinent to this situation. Okay. Thank you, emailer, for what you just sent me. You must be just a little bit behind. Let me see. Hold on. Is it one link? Yeah. So I've already went over that, but I do thank you for the engagement. And I'm not going to say who it's from, but it's from another creator. And I do appreciate your input. He's saying you didn't know her daughter. Okay. Fair enough. And I don't even want to say that. But thank you, sir, for sending me that. I don't want to say that because I feel like even that is a nastier sensationalization than this right here, right? It's an even nastier sensationalization, right? Like putting a murder on her is bad enough. To make it this other thing is even crazier. However, sir, I can see how that, feeding it into the machine, I see how what you sent me could be a real plausible situation. I truly do. But there's so many things that were in no but to the email. In addition to the email, there's so many things that go against what this is trying to make it be. Right? This isn't it. Right? You would have an ME that's out of pocket and covering it up, several police, detectives, owners of a motel, managers of a motel, employees of a motel, generic passersby, witnesses in the hotel. This number goes into the dozens of people that should have seen something that would make it a murder, right? However, there's none of that. Like, there's none of that. And the reason why, and I'm going to close on this. If Donna could prove there was a murder, do you even know how much money she could sue for? She's on here grifting on the internet. Meanwhile, if she could get even one of the people out of this whole dozens of people it would take to make this sort of cover up, to cover up her daughter's murder, if she could get one of the detectives, one of the beat cops, one of this, one of that, one person that could come through with any sort of tangible evidence to say it's a cover up, you'd be a billionaire. You would be a billionaire. That's the hunt. That's what you need to keep hunting for. If that's what you truly believe, I'm not here to take that away from you. I'm here to only expose the fact that you keep fleecing people under this ideology, right? It's like, oh no, don't press on anything Donna Serafina has to say because her daughter was murdered, right? That's the get out of jail free card. That's, you know what I mean? That's the turnaround Uno card, right? No, Donna, it's not. It's not. Prove one of these. Hey, it is not my story to tell. I mean, it's my story to tell if I want. You have a district attorney right here. You have, well, that's actually on your dope case. You have an ME. You have detectives. You have beat cops. You have owners of hotels, managers of hotels. They would have to wipe footage off right? It's in the middle of the day, 11:55 a.m. Somebody would have seen something. I've not looked to see what other businesses are adjacent to this. So let's assume there's other businesses adjacent. They're going to have cameras. Like, you've put this horrible thing on this situation, right? And it just isn't. It is not, right? Anyways, that's all I have for this evening. I'm at 140. That's your dope case. Hey, I don't have no dope cases. That being said, insane in the membrane. Absolutely. Booster, thank you so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me. We're going to go on down the line here. Paisley Moon, thank you for your contribution, Queen. Jess, again, thank you for yours. Miss Spivey, you know I love you like a fat kid loves cake. Tish, Breathless, Beverly, thank you for becoming new members. Casey K, thank you for your contribution, Queen. You know you ain't got to do it. Mark, woo! Thank you for your contribution, King. You know it means the world to me. That's kind of where we're at, right? And I don't, at this point, like, myself, I'm not going to ice out the psychic community, right? I'm not, right? I can tell you this, though. When you go on into a lot of these Facebook psychic groups, if they let you in, so on and so forth, it's about 50-50, right? 50% of them support what she has going on, or at least want to make it look like they do because of the large cult following. And then 50% say she's a grifting fraud scammer. And I think that you actually have to be a little bit mentally fractured yourself in order to get on here and believe any of this. It's not even a good ruse. This is complete toxicity. This is complete fabrication. And this is the worst of the worst type, right? Hands down. Hands down. So that being said, I don't even, there's not anything, and I'm going to tell you in terms of this is all fly by night. This is freestyle. This is off the top of my head. I didn't have no script written. I kind of loosely put it together, as you can see. But it's just going through it with any sort of uncommon sense. Right. And I don't think that I don't have to respond to this anymore. Right. Because it's one of those things. It's like responding to Andrew Hills. And I don't want to bring him into this, but it's like responding to anything that you've already got the leg up on, right? Like, what else can I say? Right. Like, and this is going to be, mark my words, this is going to be another one of those situations where, oh my God, the truth about me breaks my own heart. Right. When you tell the truth, then come the lies. When the lies don't work, then comes the hate. That's the way it works. Right. So in these communities, as soon as you tell the truth on somebody, you're going to see the real them, right? You're going to see the ad hominem attacks, right? Sweetie Pie Low is over there actually singing my praise. Like, he could do so much if he wanted to. And da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm not psychic and I'm not a police, Sweetie Pie Slow-Mo. I'm not going to solve nothing. Neither is Donna Serafina. Neither is Ziggy or Fred or anybody. We're not going to solve it. It's going to take real world police, real world detectives, forensics, DAs, prosecutors, right? And the good Lord directing all of that. Not a psychic reverend, right? None of that. It's going to take the Lord to handle this, right? So that being said, and I think, some people say, oh, the Lord. Well, guess what? When you swear in as a juror, what are you going to do? You're going to put your hand on the Bible. You're going to put your hand on the Bible. So that tells you that God is identified in the court of law. However, psychic medium, they're not going to listen to nothing you got to say. Remember, I love all of y'all individually. And remember, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. I love all of y'all. I'll catch you soon, real soon. Promise you that.